Yo, what's going on, everybody out there? All right, today's topic, I'm gonna jump right into it. Today's topic is gonna be: should you buy a small tree or should you buy a big fruit tree? This is, talking about all fruit trees. No vegetables, really, just all fruit trees, right? I'm gonna walk around with y'all, kind of show y'all a little bit of what's going on here, and I'm just gonna talk about the fruit tree. Like I said, should you get a small one? Should you get a big one? I am kind of biased, even though I've gone down both paths. But just let me know in the comments if you can figure out which one I prefer to buy. I'm gonna start out with the cost difference. Now, a smaller tree is going to cost a lot less than a larger tree. A lot less. I'm talking about, like, you can go buy a smaller tree, maybe. Give you some examples. You could buy a smaller tree like this, and this is a Santa Rosa plum that got deer pruned. That was something that I just came across, comment on one of my other videos, and I kind of liked it. Made me laugh. But this right here was deer pruned, and that's a smaller tree, right? So you could buy a tree like this for like 30 bucks. 30 bucks for a tree like that. But then you got a medium-sized tree, which we're not talking about mediums, but I just want to, put it in the mix. You can get a tree like this, which is my Morel Blood Orange, for maybe like 90 bucks, 90 to 100 bucks, right? And then we're going to go over to the Mui Kumquat. I believe this is a sour one, so I don't think it's the Mui one. But it is a Kumquat, and it's a sour one. And it's completely loaded. But you can get a tree like this for like $250. So you can kind of see how things add up, the bigger the tree that you get. So the first thing that you're going to have to figure out is if you want a small tree, if you want a big tree, how much you're willing to pay for it. Oh man, those lemons are wearing it down over here. All right, so the next thing I'm going to talk about is the instant gratification versus the long-term growth, right? So I have, like I said, y'all saw the Mui Kumquat over there, right? You can see that that's loaded down. It was loaded when I first got it, and it was about the same size, a little bit smaller, but not too much smaller. And then I have this grapefruit tree over here, right? This thing right here was like a stick when I first got it. The instant gratification is I'm happy because I got a lot of fruit when I got it, and now I'm about to have a whole bunch of more fruit on it just because it's already a bigger size. But you look over at this grapefruit tree, the Ruby Red right here, it had maybe 2-3 fruit on it its first year, and this year it doesn't have any on it currently. It did have 2 on there, but the destroyer, my daughter, she came over and she snatched them all. So it did have a couple on there this year, but like I said, it's according to what you want. Do you want more fruit or do you want less fruit? Like I said, I know some people have, their whole thing, their reasonings on why they get a small tree or why they get a big tree. And it's probably been passed down from generation to generation, or they seen another YouTuber say, I don't like big trees, I don't like small trees. I'm giving y'all some reasons on why to get small trees or why to get a big tree. So let's go ahead on to the next one, and we're going to talk about the ease of planting and transplanting. This joker right here was not that bad to plant. And why is that? Because I let the pot dry out, and y'all haven't really seen me. I'm a pretty big guy. I'm pretty big. So it wasn't too bad, but to an average human being, it's probably going to be a tussle. Because, it was a lot. Even digging the hole was laborious. So, compared to this little small tree right here, and this is my Satsuma. And as you can see, new growth is popping out on it. It did have some new growth on it before, but it kind of died off. But now it's trying to flush back out. But planting this little thing, I was able to plant this one That one, I was able to plant all three of these right here. All three of these in not even a tenth of the time that it took me to plant that one. Just because I had to dig a big hole and I had to get it back here from the front of my house, and just a whole bunch of, extra stuff that I had to do in order to, get it back here and get it planted. So like I said, that's another thing you got to think about. You got to think about it. Hey, am I going to have some help planting this? Am I going to be all alone? Like, it's a lot of stuff that you got to think about when you're planting a big tree. How am I going to get it there? Like I said, I have a truck. So I was able to throw it on the back of my truck. How am I going to get it there? And all those other things. How am I going to get it to my house? So it's a lot of things that you have to think about when it comes to if you want a big tree or if you want a small tree. And that goes in line with the next topic of the space and layout of your orchard. If you don't have a lot of space, like I said, you can get away with planting them pretty close, but you don't want to plant them that close to where they're competing. Like I said, do your little experiments of putting them close here, putting them close there, but you don't want a whole bunch of trees piled on top of each other like I did those two apple trees over there. I had them two in a hole. You don't want that all over your orchard, a whole bunch of trees. Sorry guys, got somebody driving by, catless. But you don't want a whole bunch of trees like that. You want them, nice spaced out. Like here, right? I think I got like 6 foot spacing. And I believe it's like 6 foot spacing between here. So me personally, I feel like I can fit comfortably what I'm comfortable with. Maybe 2 more trees, 3 more trees back here. Maybe 4. But like I said, I wouldn't put too many more back here because I don't want anything competing. That's why you want to get everything that you want. You don't want to just be getting stuff just because, like I said, I'm a little different. So all the things that I'm talking about is going to be a lot of opinions with a little bit of facts mixed in. So me personally, I want to grow everything that me and my family want to eat. I'm not too much growing anything that's just like it's a beautiful fruit or it's an ornamental fruit. I want pretty much everything that we can utilize. But not everybody's like that. So if you decide like, hey, I want to get, I don't know, some ornamental stuff. I don't even know what's out there. I don't really look too much into it. But I want some ornamental stuff. And, do what you want to do with that. But me personally, like I said, I want to utilize my space for stuff that I'm going to utilize or eat. Like I said, if you want to do ornamentals, do ornamentals. Stuff that you can't eat. But like I said, me personally, that's not what I want to do. Let's see. This is another bloater orange, by the way. That's been pretty stalled out. And this right here was a smaller one. This right here was a smaller one. So like I said, it kind of goes into my next, I'm kind of just flowing into it. So the next thing is the long-term health and lifespan. When you get a bigger tree, you don't know, especially with like bigger apple trees, peach trees, you really don't know what diseases it dealt with last year, because normally when you get them, they're dormant. And if you do get them when they're, bigger, like this behemoth right here, they're not going to have any diseases on them too much just because they've been, at a nursery. They've been caring for them, so they've been keeping off what was previously on them. But a smaller tree, it's not too much that done got to it. It ain't going to be nearly as bad as getting a bigger tree, because like I said, you get a small tree and it's got a little disease on it. It's like, okay, I spent $30 on this tree. Who cares, really? But you spend close to $300 and it's disease infested, then you're like, golly, like I done wasted $250, $300 on this tree. So, like I said, the disease is a big thing. But like I said, sometimes it happens. Like I said, I've had multiple trees. I'm talking about like multiple trees to where, it was just disease. Either had fire blight that kind of came up out of nowhere, or, something else. Like, kind of just happens. You kind of just roll with the punches and keep it moving. Like I said, just get more trees. Find somebody who sells them at a pretty good price, and you just keep rolling with it, guys, in all honesty. So at the end of the day, both of these, the bigger fruit tree and the smaller fruit tree, they both have their place at the end of the day. They have their place. Like I said, if you're getting a good deal on a bigger tree, get it. There ain't no reason not to. Like I said, because you're saving a lot of time. That's another thing too, right? With a smaller fruit tree, you're gonna wait 2, 3, 4, sometimes even 5 years before you get your first harvest. Before you even get your first harvest, you're waiting, and you're fertilizing, you're watering, you're doing a lot of things just to make sure that you get to that point of getting some fruit. With a larger tree, like I said, that large one at the back, that one's, I mean, it's already producing. It's already producing. It came here producing, and it's already, you know, producing once again. So it's like, it's that instant gratification. You want the long term, or do you want, you know, the instant gratification? Like I said, it's all according to what you want, like what you're looking for. Like I said, I'm not trying to wait, like I said, 4 or 5 years for fruit if I can get it early. Like I said, there are some cases to where I will wait, but for the most part, if I can get it early, then I want it early. You know, I ain't hearing nothing about nobody talking about, hey, if you let too much fruit stay on the tree, it'll be alternate bearing. I don't give a damn. I want it. I want that fruit. I want it. That's one reason why I love fig trees so much too, guys. Because they produce. They produce. If you don't got a deer coming around eating all your stuff, I mean, you'll have a lot of fruit. Like, oh, dang. This is the Ronde Bordeaux. And this is the Little Miss Figgy. This is the LSU Purple, which has some fruit at the bottom, but they all were eaten off the top. But yeah, I want my fruit, and I want it now. So that's pretty much it, guys. Like I said, I'm not going to hold you too long. I'm going to make a video about this whenever it's ready, and how to know when it's ready. But this ain't the day, and this ain't the video. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Like I said, figure out which one y'all want. And hopefully this video was able to help you out a little bit on persuading you to go either with a bigger tree or with a smaller tree. Like I said, I'm somewhere in the middle. Like I said, I feel like it's a place for everything. Like I said, whether it be a big tree or a large tree, I mean a big tree, sorry, a big tree or a small tree. But if I got a big tree and I got a small tree and they both $30, I can almost guarantee you I'm going with that bigger tree. So hopefully y'all, like I said, got something from this video. And comment down below which one y'all prefer, a larger tree or a smaller tree, and let me know why. Like I said, I'll look at it and see if I feel like it's valid or not, see if it's going to persuade me, you know, to get a smaller tree or whatever, you know. But like and subscribe, guys, and I'll holler at y'all at the next one.